What's up, Patriots? Wolf here. Thought I'd come back for a quick one here. I got something pretty inspiring. I really liked it. Try to bear with me if I'm a little crooked here. My arm's not working well. Thomas Jefferson. What an amazing human being. And I'll bet you there's quite a bit of people, because I didn't know all this for sure. But I'll tell you, President Kennedy knew. And I'll get to that at the end of this. And it's just a little tidbit that I find fascinating, but it just shows you. It's as if these men through time knew who each other were and could identify that and knew the value. You know, we're being devalued as a nation, and I believe that America, I don't believe it's being ripped apart and reduced. I believe it's being divinely restored. I mean that, and I believe that's what the fighting and that's what the the corruption and the chaos and the grumbling is. It's basically the devil getting his ass whipped. So let me get into this. Thomas Jefferson was a very remarkable man who started learning very early in life and never stopped. At 5, he began studying under his cousin's tutor. At 9, he studied Latin, Greek, and French. At 14, he studied classical literature and additional languages. At 16, he entered the College of William and Mary. Also could write in Greek with one hand while writing the same in Latin with the other hand. A lot of people, right? At 19 years old, he studied law for 5 years, starting under George Wythe. At 23, he started his own law practice. At 25, he was elected to the Virginia House of Burgesses. At 31 years old, he wrote the widely circulated Summary Review of the Rights of British America and retired from his law practice. 31 years old. At 32 years old, he was a delegate to the Second Continental Congress. At 33 years old, he wrote the Declaration of Independence. Not bad, huh? At 33 years old, took 3 years to revise Virginia's legal code and wrote a public education bill and statute for religious freedom. And they want to tear him down. At 36 years old, was elected the second governor of Virginia, succeeding Patrick Henry, the great Patrick Henry. At 40 years old, served in Congress for 2 years. At 41, was the American minister to France and negotiated commercial treaties with European nations along with Ben Franklin and John Adams. How about those for esteemed colleagues? At 46, he served as the first Secretary of State under George Washington. At 53 years old, he served as Vice President of the United States and was elected President of the American Philosophical Society. At 55 years old, he's still going, drafted the Kentucky Resolutions and became the active head of the Republican Party. At 57, he was elected the third President of the United States of America. At 60 years old, he obtained the Louisiana Purchase, doubling the nation's size. At 61, was elected to a second term as president. At 65, he retired to Monticello. At 80 years old, he helped President Monroe shape the Monroe Doctrine. At 81, he almost single-handedly created the University of Virginia and served as its first president. At 83 years old, Thomas Jefferson died on the 50th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence along with John Adams. Thomas Jefferson knew, because he himself studied the previous failed attempts at government. He understood actual history, the nature of God, his laws, and the nature of man. That happens to be way more than we most understand today. Jefferson really knew his stuff. A voice from the past to lead us in the future. Think about it. Now, this gets me, I break up over this, so I'm sorry. John F. Kennedy held a dinner in the White House for a group of the brightest minds in the nation at the time. And he made this statement, verbatim. And I'm from East Boston, so I'm going to throw a little. This is perhaps the assembly of the most intelligents ever to gather at one time in the White House, with the exception of when Thomas Jefferson dined alone. That's a quote by the great John F. Kennedy, who's right behind me, as you see. Guys, This is what America is about. This is what America is built on. We need more Thomas Jeffersons. We need more statues to let people know. How many of you knew that about him? This is absurd what's going on. It's a disgrace what's going on. I love my country. I am a patriot, and I'll always be a patriot. We are the alpha wolves at their door.